Hey, you know that moment when you see a photo from like your childhood or maybe even one of your parents when they were younger
Oh, yeah, totally.
and suddenly that exact style, the shapes, the pattern,
Yeah.
it's just everywhere again.
Like those wide leg pants or chunky sneakers, maybe?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really is like
Okay.
fashion has this weird memory. Well, you're definitely not imagining it, and that's what we're diving deep into today.
The world of fashion cycles, it's fascinating stuff.
It really is. We've pulled together some really insightful material that kind of helps explain why these looks keep coming back around.
Yeah, and our mission here is to figure out, what's driving these comebacks? What does it tell us about our culture, how we express ourselves?
Get ready for some, well, hopefully some surprising connections and those satisfying aha moments. We're going to trace these threads back and look at what the experts say about this whole wheel of style.
It's true, though, isn't it? We often think of fashion as just, clothes. A bit superficial, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so.
But when you look at these cycles, you realize it's way deeper. It's like a cultural barometer almost.
A barometer. I like that.
It reflects these shifts in like collective taste and what society values at a given time.
Yeah.
That vintage jacket making a comeback. It's not random.
Right.
It's part of this ongoing story, this cultural narrative. And the sources we have really help decode that.
Okay, so let's really dig into that, the cyclical nature.
Hmm.
The material we looked at points out it's not just about the clothes themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It really mirrors how culture evolves.
Mm-hmm.
Like our collective taste kind of ebbs and flows, right? We embrace something, then we move on.
Only to circle back eventually.
Exactly. You see it so clearly, decade by decade. Like think about the flowy bohemian stuff from the 70s.
Oh yeah, that feeling of freedom, social change.
Right. And then contrast that with the like super bold, almost architectural shapes of the 80s.
Totally different vibe.
It really is like fashion's a snapshot of the times.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting, I think, is that when these trends do return, they're almost never like identical copies.
Okay.
They get reinterpreted, they're tweaked, adapted for the new era. It's not just blindly copying the past.
It's more like engaging with it, but through today's eyes.
Precisely, adding something new to the conversation.
So what is the driving force then? Why do these styles that felt so, I don't know, dated suddenly feel right again?
Well, our sources point to a few key things. One that really jumped out was Valerie Steele's point about technology and economic shifts being huge influences.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense when you stop and think about it.
It really does. I mean, look at the return of 90s minimalism. It's been massive lately.
Definitely. Very clean lines, simple stuff.
Exactly. And think about today's world. We're just like constantly bombarded, right?
Yep.
Digital noise, sensory overload.
Tell me about it.
So that clean, pared down 90s look, it offers a kind of visual quietness, simplicity.
It's almost like a reaction to now, even though it's from back then.
You got it. It shows these cycles aren't just random whims. They often connect to our current needs, our desires.
And things like social media must play a part too, right? Spreading things faster.
Oh, absolutely. Micro trends from the past can suddenly blow up globally. It potentially makes the cycle spin even faster and maybe become more fragmented than they used to be before, the internet took over everything.
And it's not just these big societal forces. Designers are obviously key players too.
Mm-hmm.
The source mentions people like Vivienne Westwood, Jean-Paul Gaultier, figures who are constantly mining the past.
Yeah, they're like skilled curators, isn't it? They grab bits from different times and mash them up in ways that feel, I don't know, familiar, but also totally fresh.
They tap into that collective memory maybe.
Yeah.
Revisiting eras that resonate with like what we're feeling now.
Exactly. Maybe pulling out strong silhouettes when people are craving a sense of assertiveness, for example. They're interpreters, really, translating history for right now.
They see potential where maybe the rest of us just saw something. Old-fashioned. Okay, now this is where it gets really fun for me. The whole journey of an item from being like a total fashion no-no
Mm-hmm.
to suddenly being the height of, the fanny pack. Remember those?
Oh, God, yes. The ultimate tourist cliche. Everyone kind of laughed at them.
Totally. But now
Mm-hmm.
you've got Gucci, Prada, all the big names doing versions.
And suddenly, it's a must-have accessory. It's wild.
It really shows how subjective taste is, how it shifts.
It does. What's considered out can absolutely become in with the right context, the right spin, maybe a cultural shift.
The power of branding, maybe.
Yeah.
and how different groups adopt things.
Yeah, or maybe there's a bit of irony involved, like reclaiming something that was seen as uncool. There are probably layers to it.
And what about those massive 80s shoulder pads?
Yeah.
They're a statement.
Definitely a statement. Power dressing, right?
And,
Yeah.
and now they're back again. The source suggests they're being seen as symbols of, like, empowerment again, but maybe in a new way.
It's amazing how one item can carry such different baggage, different meanings across time.
It really underlines that fashion isn't just about looking good. It's like uh, nonverbal communication.
Exactly. Those 80s pads might have meant one thing about workplace power then,
Right.
and their comeback today could signal something about female strength now, or maybe even just a playful reference to that past era. The clothes are speaking a language that evolves.
So, okay, for listeners thinking, all right, this is cool, but how do I actually use this? Our source material has some really practical tips.
Good. Yeah, let's get into that.
First one, identify those pieces that just last. The timeless ones.
Mm-hmm.
Things like, a classic trench coat, a good leather jacket, reliable denim jeans, stuff that keeps showing up.
That's solid advice. Those are the building blocks, aren't they? They kind of transcend the quick trends.
They're like the anchors in your wardrobe.
Yeah, a smart investment because they stick around even while other things are cycling in and out.
Okay, next tip, this one sounds fun, is about mixing and matching different decades.
Ooh, I like this one.
Yeah. Like, don't be afraid to wear a 70s boho blouse with some 90s high-waisted jeans.
Yeah.
It's about creating your look.
This is where personal style really comes in. Knowing about cycles gives you permission almost to experiment.
To make combinations that feel current but also uniquely you.
Exactly. Be informed by the past, but not like trapped by it.
And if going full retro feels like a bit much,
Yeah.
the source suggests focusing on accessories, scarves, hats, jewelry.
Yeah.
Apparently, they cycle through trends even faster sometimes.
That makes sense.
And it's a lower commitment way to add a touch of an era, right, without a whole new outfit.
Totally. Accessories are brilliant for that. A subtle nod, easily integrated, super versatile.
I really like this next point, too. Sustainable shopping.
Ah, yes. Important.
Highlighting thrift stores,
Yeah.
vintage shops. They're like treasure troves for finding authentic older pieces.
Absolutely. You get unique, often really well-made stuff.
And it's so much better for the environment than always buying new.
Definitely. It's a more conscious way to engage with fashion, reducing waste. Win-win.
And lastly, for staying kind of in the loop, the source recommends checking out fashion blogs or influencers who specialize in vintage.
Good call.
They can give you hints about what might be coming back next.
Yeah, those online communities can be great for spotting trends early and also for getting ideas on how to style older pieces so they feel fresh and modern. Lots of inspiration there.
We also got a couple of slightly more outside-the-box ideas.
Okay.
One was DIY restyling, taking older clothes and giving them a little update yourself.
Like changing buttons, adding embroidery, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Making it personal.
I love that. It's creative, gives old things new life, and makes it truly your own.
And the final one was about exploring cultural insights, looking beyond just Western fashion.
Broadening the perspective.
Yeah, seeing how trends from different cultures have maybe influenced styles here, or just finding inspiration from completely different traditions.
That can unlock some really unique ideas, help you build a style that's genuinely distinctive and, globally aware.
So as you, the listener, maybe start thinking about playing with some of these past trends.
Yeah.
It's really important to remember what our source stressed, the cultural stories woven into them.
Right. The context.
These fashion cycles really highlight this deep human need we have to express who we are through what we wear. Every piece carries history.
That's such a crucial point. When you wear something vintage, you're not just wearing clothes, you're kind of participating in this dialogue across time.
Understanding that history adds so much more meaning, doesn't it?
It really does. A deeper appreciation for your choices.
So the big takeaway then from our deep dive today, the main thing to hang on to
Yeah.
is that these cycles are all about this balance, this constant push and pull between nostalgia looking back and innovation pushing forward.
That tension.
It's just a powerful reminder that the past is always shaping our present, and you can literally see it in the clothes we pick out each morning.
Exactly. It's not just a straight line forward for style. It's more like a spiral, maybe,
The spiral. Yeah.
where we revisit ideas, reinterpret them, and they become part of who we are now, both individually and, collectively as a culture.
So thinking about all this,
Yeah.
this cyclical nature,
Mhm.
here's a final thought for you listening. What past trends do you predict might be about to make a big comeback soon?
Ooh, good question.
And, maybe more interestingly, what might that comeback say about where our cultural values are heading right now?
Hmm. It's fascinating to think about, isn't it? What we might dig out of the attic next could actually tell us something about our future.